Welcome to the GoalZero Toolbox Talk series. Today's Toolbox Talk: Energy-based hazard recognition. Hazard recognition can be done via several methods. The Energy Wheel is a simple and free tool that can help you train employees to identify hazards in their work area. Training is available at the Energy-based Safety course and the Energy Wheel, YouTube from the authors. Energy-based hazard identification is not new. Using energy sources to identify hazards in the work area has been used as a hazard identification tool by many companies for quite some time. The concept is to use these main sources of energy to identify hazards in the workplace. Studies show that workers only identify about 45%, not even half, of the hazards in their work area during pre-job safety briefings. Those who use the Energy Wheel, however, find up to 30% more hazards in the work area during pre-task planning. The Energy Wheel is effective because it provides a simple set of reminders to search for hazards that are commonly overlooked. Every injury is the result of an unwanted release of or contact with one or more energy sources. To understand how energy contributes to injuries, you need to know a little bit about energy and how your brain sees and evaluates energy as a hazard. Identifying the energy source allows you to think about the hazards associated with that energy source and then take steps to control that hazard. Seeing an overhead power line signals an electrical energy source. As a groundwater contractor, you immediately think about the hazard of raising the mast into the line and maintaining the appropriate distance from the line to protect yourself. Use the Energy Wheel as a reminder tool to find the energy sources in your work area. There are two types of energy: kinetic and potential. Kinetic energy is moving like a bouncing ball, rotating drill rod, or wet concrete moving through a chute or hose. Kinetic energy is easy to identify because it is moving. Potential energy is stored energy such as a section of rebar under tension, a hose filled with pressurized water, or a hot skillet sitting on the stove. Kinetic energy is much easier to identify than potential energy. Motion, mechanical, or gravity are energy sources associated with movement. Movement is easy for our brains to see. Chemicals, sound, pressure, electrical, temperature, radiation, and biological are potential energy sources which are easy to overlook, and much harder to identify. So how do we train our brains to see potential energy sources and then take steps to protect ourselves from the hazards they hold? Identify the common potential energy sources in your work area. For example, if you work around ovens, stay extra focused on temperature. Focus on what can kill you and always assume it can. Many potential energy sources are highly hazardous, if not life-threatening. Electricity is a good example. If you see an extension cord plugged into the wall, always assume it's energized. Refresh your memory of potential energy sources by using the Energy Wheel while scanning your work area. Look for energy sources you might not normally see. 10 energy sources that are part of the Energy Wheel are: sound, temperature, radiation, biological, chemical, motion, mechanical, electrical, gravity, and pressure.